What's up, what's up? Thanks for coming back through. This was really awesome. I was able to get this one release day. Shouts out to Fleet Feet for having it, for carrying it, for calling you boy. I love it. So, we're going to be talking about the Brooks Hyperion Max 2. This is fantastic. This is my steez. I love this shoe. I often do contrast compare when I'm talking about a certain shoe that I've had a previous iteration of. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I was not a big fan of the Hyperion Max. It was supposed to be the unplated version of the Hyperion Elite. I tried it. It seemed lesser than, and that was a huge problem for me. I didn't necessarily need the plate, not the carbon fiber one. So I figure if they have the same level of cushioning but without the plate, maybe I can make this work. The Max just felt lesser than to me. Now, I know it might work for other people, but the initial Hyperion Max did not feel like a Hyperion. I had been running in one of my favorite training shoes, the Hyperion Elite 2. This is a tremendous shoe. I love it. I love everything about it. The plate is not as aggressive. The thing that could be improved is a little bit of the traction. But other than that, the fit, the feel, everything about the Hyperion Elite 2 is fantastic. And with the Max not working out for me, and the Elite 3 and 4 going up in price, and changes being made, because the Elite 4 is nothing like the 2. The 3 was kind of a knit version of the 2, which I still liked. But when I saw the new Max, something told me, okay, visually, this thing looks really familiar. Visually, this thing looks as if it's going to have beefier cushioning, as if it's going to be some of that thing I liked about the Hyperion Elite 2. So now let me jump back. Again, I'm a sneakerhead. I've collected shoes for a very long time. How many of you remember when the Jordan brand ran parallel to the Flight brand? Nike would put out shoes on the Jordan brand and then slowly trickle them down into the Flight brand, which was supposedly slightly lesser quality, more affordable. No. It just wasn't as hyped. It just wasn't the one that came out last year. But it's this year. So it's cheaper because you waited. The Hyperion Max 2 is basically the Hyperion Elite 2 a couple years later. They brought it back to us, and that's what it feels like. It's so very close to that basically if you liked the Hyperion Elite 2, which used to be the top flight runner for Brooks, you are going to love this because the similarities are so crazy that I'm in heaven. I love this shoe. So let's get into it. Upper midsole, outsole, like we always do. It's this. Just in new colors. Updated look a little bit. But I'm going to be doing these in parallel to show you how very similar these are. And how Brooks gave us a better price point for a shoe 2 years ago that was $250. It's now $180. All right, let's go. The upper is an engineered mesh. So it is not a knit. But I'm wondering, how they get some of this look. I've seen brands do this several different ways where there are laser cut holes. And then sometimes the upper is actually a textile that has a pattern. These don't look to be burned in. Actually, kind of like these were. These were laser cut holes. And you can tell they had a slight edge to them. These, I think, are part of a knit pattern. Now, they're not stretchy knit. It's more of a traditional engineered mesh. It's very breathable. It's very comfortable. The stance of the shoe itself is slightly wide. Again, I'm going to be doing these in parallel. It's really not a lot of difference in the shape. One of the things I really did love about the Hyperion Elite 2 was the fact that you felt like you had a snug fit, but you still had room, if that's possible to do at the same time. That's very similar to this one. The stance is not painfully narrow, but you are also not swimming in it. The eye stays are secured by a fusing, so you get a really secure, snug fit if you need to pull hard on that lacing. The Brooks logo is supportive. They've done that in years past where, you know, some of the logo was just performative. It just looked like it was there to do something. This one actually has a hard material that snugs up on the side when you pull along those laces. So I'd say the Brooks logo is a supporting logo, similar to the Adidas 3 stripes often are. That lacing, we're back with the serrated lacing. That is becoming a norm. It is becoming a standard. I'm not sure who to give initial credit to that to. I believe Nike had that before anybody else in their Alpha Flies. But this lacing has become a standard. We just reviewed the ASICS offerings with the Metaspeed Sky and the Metaspeed Edge. Both of those have that serrated lacing. I like it. It's a snug fit. Even if you don't cinch them super tightly, if you leave your laces a little loose, they're still going to stay in place because that edge grips the eye stay. There is a hard heel counter inside, and there's a little bit of that whale tail that we used to see with New Balance, and so that was that catches a few rocks. But it's really comfortable on the Achilles as your foot is flowing forward into that stride, as you're rolling forward. There's nothing there to dig in to the back of the heel. So that's actually comfortable. I remember when the New Balance 1080 had that, and it was, just a funnel for rocks. Just something to be aware of. It was something that did not exist on previous models, so there is a change. You know me. You know my heart. Gusseted tongue, baby. Let's go. The stretch knit tongue is gusseted. Hold on, let me get a look at that. It's gusseted down. So it's a full tongue with a partial. It cuts off and becomes a streamlined gusseting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is all I want. Snug fit on top. Tongue doesn't go anywhere. I'm rolling. Let's go. That's perfect. Gusseted tongue. All I could ask for. Keep doing it, Brooks. Everybody else, take note. That's a huge change from the Elite 2, which had a very problematic tongue, as it was, it was breathable, but it was a bit floppy. Got some Brooks branding on the inside. I respect it, Brooks. Get your name out there. Talk your ish. That's a little bit big for my taste, but I dig it. Let's get into that midsole. DNA Flash foam. This was DNA Flash also. I think this is the upgraded version of the DNA Flash foam. Super, super comfortable. It's not as plush and squishy as other Pebax based foams. This one is a nitrogen infused. That's what the DNA Flash foam has always been. Actually, it's a two-piece foam. This shoe gets a much needed upgrade in traction. I realize that I keep saying this shoe because I really do feel that this current model of the Hyperion Max 2 is the descendant upgrade to the Elite 2. I know that there's a Hyperion Elite 4, but this one feels like a much more true descendant of what was going on with that shoe. I know that there are performance enhancements and carbon fiber plates and things that push the Hyperion line forward into race day. This was once considered a race day shoe. This is now, without the carbon fiber plate, swapped out for the nylon plate. So now you're telling me this becomes a daily trainer. That's all it is. That's what this is. That's why the price point is different. But you are still getting an elite level shoe at $180. So inflation has pushed the line forward. Let's get to this outsole. So whereas there was rubber at the toe, and then in that midsection where you would very much need some traction where that foam is hitting the ground, this tended to get a little bit slick. Well, now the Speed Vault has a bit of a cavern in there. Yes, you got a similar profile, but now there's more rubber contacting the ground. This black rubber is a full rubber piece. It is very, very grippy, very, very sticky. The heel pieces, the heel pods have gotten an upgrade from just a couple of strips to some real plugs that hit the ground and give you great traction. You get lots of good coverage in comparison to what the profile used to be. I could be wrong on the numbers, but I believe that stack height is 36 to 34, 36 to 32. Whatever it is, it did not feel super drastic. And anymore now, I think now that the stack height wars are over, as it were, you find the shoe that works best for you and the responsiveness that you like. Yeah, this is a tremendous find, and the price point is what we want. I'm a coach, and so at Fleet Feet, they gave me an extra 20% discount on that shoe because Fleet Feet is really good to teams and coaches and athletes. That's tremendous. So I was able to get into this shoe, typically $180. I got into it at $150. It feels like a $250 shoe did at $100 less than that. So Brooks, you got one. This is what the Hyperion Max should have been all along. Props to you for the upgrade. Get down in the comments. Let me know if you've got your feet in it and your hands on it. Love to hear about that. Thanks for coming back through. We'll see you soon. Peace.